Okay, well, أنا قد يواهي قد جوكس بدهم سيس ناري. قد زي نازريو يجت كهو نجي يجت كوين ستار هم هتا هني. جت نورا د قرون قدري يجس يتي صوتا. بس تانك قرأت دانا يتي نستار في هنزاجي دانا كويس كت نتنوبة. جت نورا دو أقويت سيدي ياك دانا أقويت أو باتري إنه بسوقة. دانا Asa mi got out again, ganyan ko di na to ro na to really done or risk okay. Dete no da do yet is what the kun ha ne do no the heads that are do here that ya wa ko. Ayo ki at again ha dam da wa on heads and does that stasser and the number. Okay, as some of you know that every time we gather in council meeting, anything of importance where we're going to be discussing things, we always have to carry out a Honda Gadi Wadekwa. This is what I just did. This the words that where we remind ourselves of the things that have created us, the things that we need to continue to sustain us, and about the things that we're going to be deliberating upon. Regardless, no matter what it is in this world, if you're a dentist, if you're a rocket scientist, anything that you're doing is in the natural world. So everything that we do has to be considered as to how it fits in the natural world. We cannot just be doing things like an elephant in a china shop, just stumbling, breaking everything because we do not consider how and what we do fits into the world around us. Instead, we just do things and expect the world to fit to our whatever, our conform to our thinking. This, of course, oh no, is the corruptions and the craziness of what is the current state of the world. Anyway, so for this, we remind ourselves of that. These are the things that we're deliberating for. That we begin by giving our thanks to the great spiral of creation, to Sky Woman herself, as it is she who has given us spirit. From there, we give our thanks to the beating heart of our Mother Earth, our Grandmother Moon, as it is she who has given us blood. From there to our Mother Earth, regardless of what color you are, what language you speak, regardless of where you have grown out of the earth from, and most important, regardless of what you imagine divides us. We have all grown from the same mother, and therefore making us all one family. And so we identify, we give thanks to our mother as it is has given us body. And from there, we call upon our ancestors who carried a good mind to ask us to help us to return our mothers back to their natural seat of authority within all our nations and manage all our people properly once again. What we're basically identifying in this Ohondagari Wadekwa is outside of the scope or the realm of which people think on a normal daily basis, where people are basically only thinking for today and causing the damage to the earth. We think outside of this and we think back to the core of our creation, how we have come into being, the order of that creation. And this is basically what we identify to return our mothers back, or as it is, are the mothers within all strains of life that teach us how to be what we are. So we need to be taught once again by our original instruction how to be human, how to interact with one another, how our interrelations are to take place. And today, this is basically what we're here to talk about because, as some of you may know, I'm sure Rami must have informed you, but basically, what we're here to talk about is to create a bunkhouse or a living quarters for the visitors of the Longhouse, the visitors who will be coming to the Longhouse for not only for specifically a very special event next summer, but basically to accommodate the visitors that are coming, to accommodate the people who are coming here for the teachings, the people who are coming here from the different backgrounds, different cultures, different nations, to learn how to interrelate with one another. And so this is what we're here to discuss. The building, basically. Rami, just to let you know, I took the measurements this morning of the new location, and the basic is the outside measurements, outside, regardless of whatever the width of the inside, would be 25 by 40. Now that's the maximum we're talking about. So that's just to tell you what the maximum external measurements would be. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be that. So, but that's just so that you know the area that we're dealing with that you seen yesterday. That's the maximum we can go to dealing with the trees that are there. So, anyways, there you go. Uh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that in my oration in Ganyageha, I introduced myself. My name is Gazita Zrio. This is the name my mother has given me. When she was alive in this world, she was a Wolf Clan mother, and so I am a Wolf Clan. Gazita Zrio, what that means pretty bird. Otherwise, in this world, people know me as Stuart Miller. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Just to ask, Nyao Goa, just to ask, does anybody prefer also having a French translation?
Ben, j'ai tout compris ce qu'il a dit, merci.
It's all right.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you,
okay. Yes.
and thank you.
And thank you for the...
Donc, je vais aller en français parce qu'il me connaît déjà alors. Donc, mon nom, c'est Edith. Et comme on a appris ici à la Maison Longue de s'introduire de façon matrilinéaire, ma maman est Soko. Je suis la fille de Soko. Et la petite fille de qui portait en vie le nom de Panchita. Et l'arrière-petite fille de qui portait le nom en vie de Celsa. Et j'étais de la nation Zapotèque, donc je suis de la nation Zapotèque, mais je suis née au territoire Mexica. Ce qui est connu aujourd'hui comme le Mexique. Et ici, dans le territoire de la Confédération des 5 Nations, je suis sous la protection du clan du Loup, steward du clan du Loup. Donc, j'apprends la fonction de ce clan-là, comme peut-être Rami vous a déjà conté un tout petit peu. Le conseil travaille en clan, mais dans le fond, c'est vraiment un système d'atteinte de consensus pour avoir des décisions solides et qui ne va pas avoir des divisions ou des malcontentements. Donc, c'est vraiment ça l'essence du consensus. Donc, j'agis à titre de traductrice de l'anglais vers le français et vers l'espagnol quand il y en a besoin. Et donc, je suis très contente de vous voir et de savoir que Rami avec une équipe de travail qui est très axé sur l'environnement, les matériaux écologiques, santé et tout ça. Donc, hâte de vous entendre, de vous connaître.
Merci.
Okay, I guess we'll just present ourselves real quickly. Well, you know me already, so Colin, you can go first again.
Bonjour, moi je m'appelle Colin. Ma mère s'appelle... Comment est-ce qu'on fait?
You can just keep this one here.
Mon nom c'est Colin. Ma mère s'appelle Hélène, qui est en France. Sa mère s'appelle Janet.
Colin, t'es muté, donc on t'entend plus.
I'll just...
Okay, sorry about that. Mon nom est Colin. Ma mère s'appelle Hélène, elle vit en France et sa mère s'appelle Jeannette. Et moi, je m'occupe du dessin des bâtiments pour MMAI. J'ai étudié l'architecture et donc je travaille avec Clément et Rami sur la conception et la représentation des projets.
Ben, merci, Colin. Bon, donc, maintenant, moi, je vais enchaîner. Est-ce qu'on m'entend bien, tout le monde?
Oui.
Parfait, super. Donc, moi, c'est Maxime. Avec Samuel, on a décidé de partir l'entreprise MMAI il y a quasiment bientôt 2 ans pour pouvoir offrir aux gens une nouvelle manière de vivre, si on peut dire, qui est l'ancienne manière de vivre qu'on essaie d'adapter aujourd'hui. Donc, un retour vers les traditions du passé pour les mettre dans le présent. Donc, on a des grandes valeurs environnementales pour pouvoir essayer de mettre ça dans nos conceptions de qu'est-ce qu'on fabrique, travailler avec la nature, travailler en synergie. Donc, on met beaucoup de nos valeurs dans notre travail dans ce monde qu'on vit présentement qui n'est pas facile. Donc, pour nous, pour moi, je vais parler pour moi, c'est un honneur de parler aujourd'hui avec des Autochtones pour pouvoir aider à pouvoir mettre en place des bâtiments ou peu importe, on verra dans le futur. Mais pour moi, c'est un honneur parce que pour moi, c'est les racines qui restent de la bonne manière de vivre sont souvent dans les régions autochtones. Donc, pour moi, je suis très content aujourd'hui de faire partie de cette discussion-là. Merci, Rami, puis merci, M. Bouffe, et vous de nous recevoir.
Merci, Max. Bonjour, je m'appelle Samuel Leclerc. Moi, je travaille avec Maxime et toute l'équipe depuis un certain temps pour amener un petit peu un changement au niveau de la construction là, des maisons. Surtout, on revient à la base avec with some house that are bioclimatic. So the house are adapted to the climate. So that's the first part of what we are trying to do to change the way that houses are made of to be more acclimated to the to Quebec, to the region here. And we are also introducing eco-engineering, so it's also a transition to put away the old system that is now destroying the society and go back to the ecosystem, so where we are coming from. So that's the way that we bring the building, the construction in harmony with the living. So that's the combination of these two beautiful concepts that we are putting on our conceptions. And so yeah, we are working on house, greenhouse, and a lot of the synergy between the people and the food that's growing into those places. So yeah, it's an honor for me as well to meet you, and I'm looking forward to see. I won't be able to stay a long time. I'm very sorry for that. In like 5 minutes, I will have to leave. I have another meeting. I have misunderstood with the communication, so I will have to leave soon. But I will come back to for a resume, and I will stay on touch. Thank you.
Okay, just to say to that we know that this is really an initial contact. We know that there's going to be a lot more contact from here. We didn't expect like to spend much time here today, other than to go over things in general. So ultimately, the plan would be for us to meet in person. For you, whoever can come here, so we know at some time we will be seeing you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I prefer in person too. So we take a time to talk together and see the place and take a breath of the good air with you and everything. So I prefer that too. Yes. So, but it's the first time. Yes. So we can look with Rami when it's possible to come to see you, and we take a rendezvous together. I'm ready for that soon if you want. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yep.
perfect. So
Hello?
yes,
So for today, would you like to, like, I already kind of ran through some of the points that we talked about yesterday, but it would be nice to hear just directly from you, kind of what you know, what you're looking for as a project. What would you like to see in this building? How would you like to have it done? What is the use? Just kind of your the dream right now. There's we've got the earth is there, it's ready. What's the dream? What is the objective?
Okay, well, all right, then basically, there's nothing complicated to this thing. Just so everybody knows, it's basically like a shoebox, like a two-story shoebox. You don't have to worry anything about the interior, the design, basically just even an open shell. Once we got the open shell, then the second floor, the division of everything, um, that we can handle that. So like just to know, like right off the bat, work and cost would be minimal to that. Uh, Ultimately, what we want is, if we think back to the way that my people used to live in a longhouse, the longhouse was actually a living, breathing thing, an extension of the earth, something that obviously then was conducive with all living systems, not just our own. And to expand on that, so that you know what I mean, the living system of humans is it incorporates a lot of things. What we got to do to get our food, what we got to do to get shelter, all these different things. But that has to be incorporated again with the environment around us, not just to say environment and think that, oh, we know what we're talking about, but the environment is very delicate when a person obviously is living within it. Then you become aware of things that are in the garden, for instance, that nobody else thinks of, that these things are, these living things like worms and other, just as an example, all are cyclical. And that in the garden, just as in the house, that the people have to take those cycles into consideration, because our house and us are living within all of those cycles, every living system. And so just imagine that, whatever you can imagine, let's just say there's 100 different things in the environment that we have to be in sync with. Okay, so then the building that we live in has to be in sync with those 100 different things. Okay, so we know that is a pipe dream today. So we're looking at just like if we're playing darts, we're trying to get the best that we can. We're not going to set ridiculous goals and say that when we fall short of them, that, oh, we failed. No, we're going to set the highest standard, know what the highest goal is, and that's what we're striving for in increments, to know and understand that this is the first step. Even if you are not involved in it ever again, just to know that this is the first step to get to the point of like uh, rediscovering or re incorporating into our living habits, the way that we domicile, the way that we are housed, and everything to do with it. So basically, what it meant in the past is that a longhouse had a place, first and foremost, for birthing, for the mothers to give birth. That's the number one thing. The house is centered around that. Just think of, if you're looking at a colony of bees, if you like honey, you love honey. Wow, it's so delicious. How do you get to that point of perfection? You get to that point by, at the center is the mother, and everything taking care of the mother in her process of giving birth. So everything has to be conducive with a woman's comfort, her comfort zone, even coming down to, as color, color of the interior. Color of a bedroom is much different than a color of a living room, as you know. So just that all, again, just to identify just a few examples of how many living systems we have to incorporate, or what we know where we're heading. So if we can only imagine right now 5 systems out of those 100, then it would be amazing if we could reach 3 of those, attain 3 of those to a level that is satisfactory, that pleases you. You're the artist. So paint the painting that you are proud of, that you are, uh, that that this is you, that you have done the best that you can to incorporate these things. So if you could imagine, like, these living systems from, compare it to a fiber optic cable that has been cut. Okay, now we have to reconnect all those cables, all those fiber optics. Now, of course, we're not going to get them all connected to the right place. So it's a matter of trial and error. We find out where this one goes to see if it reaches the other side in the place that it's meant to. So in this way, then you think of the past while there was birthing in the Longhouse, and it was the ultimate treasure of the nation. It was the thing uh, honored and respected the most, like the way that the non-native people revere gold. Like a ridiculous thing. Imagine, oh, here's a baby bar of gold. What's it gonna do for you? Nothing. A baby gonna bring you love, gonna bring you happiness. This is the kind of thing that brings you balance in your life. So at the source of it, you're gonna make sure that that place is the magic. That place is where a baby can be reached its maximum potential, even just in being born. So a natural birthing place was back there in the longhouse back then. So that's a fiber optic cable from a long time ago. And we're trying to connect it to this one now that is now this new house that isn't obviously like an old longhouse, but still to fit same purpose with today's technologies based in the facts and reality of what we're in to accomplish the best fit to accommodate the original way, the way that it was. We're trying to put it back so to accommodate that. So this is the goal. So basically, you really don't need anything from me. You all know. So you just think in your mind, okay, we want to paint the best picture. So whatever is your field, don't feel like I am going to tell you. It's really you that's going to pull this out of thin air. Out of we basically right now at the point in time we're at, we got to pull a rabbit out of a hat. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to be painting that picture of pulling that magic out of thin air to basically where we can show the world uh, this is the way. That is not the way. Two by fours is not the way. Uh, you know, everything else, standard hydroelectricity, it's not the way. We can show the world this from here, uh, different than what every other efforts are like this, because of a few simple facts here. Is that we are in no way, absolutely not connected to the system in any way whatsoever. The system is going in one direction. That's where all the 99 fishes are swimming that way. We're the only fish that is swimming in the opposite direction. We are not participating in the insanity that everybody else does here. And I know that in the non-native world, through the universities and stuff like that, and if you want to get programs that they automatically direct you to the elective band system, which is the system that is destroying us. So we all have a unique opportunity here to create something that is really the first. Now, mind you, the first on this level. I've been involved in the past with non-native people who have helped and done a lot of things, but really not on this level of organization to be able to take advantage of subsidies and uh, technological programs, new technologies, such as hemp, whatever it's called, to make a 2x4 out of hemp, that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of unique opportunities here that really don't exist anywhere else. And on top of that, that here, this is the only property left now in all of so-called Canada that is not under the so-called land regime. So here, regardless of what anybody requires. Here, it's impossible. There is no insurance applicable here on this land. So anybody, forget about that. There's no way insurance can be applied here. There's no way that certain restrictions that you might face out there would apply here. But this isn't to say that environmental whatever standards can be played with. No, it cannot. If it is a standard out there, then it's a minimum standard here, and we might not even see that the standard on the outside even meets our minimum. So just for you to know of in that area. Okay, basically I've said all that needs to be said on this. It's a shoebox. Uh, Basically that. Okay, I'll leave it at that. If anybody has any questions on that or anything you want to say, you know.
Thank you.
What's a powerful discours?
Thank you very much. It's I think we are seeing very similar. I think it's beautiful and yeah, that's vibrate with us as well.
Right in the heart. Wow. So I think it's the next step. Rami, take a rendezvous, and we came to see you in person and the land and take a time together because I'm not good front of a camera. I prefer to feel the vibe and everything. So thank you very much for your time, and we understand what's the project and what's
The possibility.
the possibility and all of that. Yeah, thank you, Rami.
Oh, wait, just to add one other thing there so that everybody understands. Here we are on solid rock. It is bedrock. It is exposed to the open air. So you know what that means as far as foundations and stuff like that. It makes things a hell of a lot easier to deal with.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's good.
I'll wrap it up with just a few points that we mentioned yesterday. Not so much questions, but just things, other things to consider that I've written. So in terms of funding, like we mentioned, like through the Great Priests organization, through us as well for R&D, we can get perhaps some like research funding, anything that can apply to what we're doing. As well, we're looking at crowdsourcing, and so that would require some bit of promotion that, I mean, we would collaborate on, but I would probably take lead on something like that. As you told me yesterday, Angel is accountant extraordinaire who can also help us with this sort of thing. So hopefully she can join us when we do the meeting. We also talked about the idea of the adaptability of the building, so that it's not just this one project, but how could this be a project that could be transformed and expanded depending on where it is and who is building it. And so we talked about perhaps people in California who are interested in doing this sort of thing, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more others. So this is something to consider. We also spoke about the possibility maybe of collaborating with, I wasn't sure if it's a family member or a friend, but the warehouse nearby where they used to work on, it was for cigarettes, but it's going to move on to something else. So there might be a potential for subsidies and, for collaboration there as well. Anyway, so a lot of things possible. I think I could make a visit just myself, just to maybe take some extra measurements and photos, and then we can establish a meeting in person at in Ganawagi at your convenience.
I'll tell you what, we can throw out a date right now so that everybody can have something to start to think about. The next Women's Nation. What date is that? That's it would be 2 weekends from now.
No, it's almost a moon because we just had it.
Well, well, it wouldn't be the full moon. That's this week.
It's like in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'm just gonna give you the exact date so I don't invent anything.
It would be 3 Saturdays from now.
May the 8th.
May the 8th. Now, we could look at this as a tentative date, but of course, that's a long time from now. If everything fits, for everybody, we could possibly do it before then. But if not, we could use that date as like the say that's when we're gonna do it by, as the default date.
That way, Angel will be here and maybe other women, so because we have been keeping them updated about the project, so that would be nice that they all meet you too.
And at that time also, I could arrange with my nephew to explore that other area anyways, if there is, because there is the warehouse that he's got, the building is a factory, a cigarette factory. That's a good sized building. I'm looking at it right now. It's like 50 by 50, something like that, and they're expanding onto it. Anyways, so we can have all of this arranged for 3 Saturdays from now, May
The 8th.
May the 8th.
Okay, and so generally the weekend is better because that's when everybody's most free, like Angel and you and the Women's Nation.
It's
As
because
opposed to,
normally she will be on the grounds here, so you can like physically meet her too, because she comes from Quebec City. So I mean,
oh,
instead of like doing Zoom.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, am I unmuted?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, hello, hello everyone. Just very quickly, I'm Marie-Claude. I am the great-granddaughter of Marie-Louise, the granddaughter of Yvette, and the daughter of Francine. And I've been collaborating the 201 liaison with the Longhouse for the past 6 years, and part of the Life Givers Nation as well. Thank you so much, Rami. The wrap-up you made of yesterday, what was discussed, is so great that you keep this. And in this, and I'm sure Edith will agree, we can also add to the mix that we have an ongoing effort as well with the STAC community, and maybe there's some bridge also for funding maybe coming from there. So I just wanted to throw that in there so we just don't forget it as well.
From which community?
Blockstack. Thank you, Marie-Claude, because it's like we always talk to the Blockstack community about use, and we are not talking to use about that. It's people like our friends in California. They are the ones that it's new technology, but there's possibility of grants, and they can finance something that will be like this bunkhouse with the Longhouse. Especially if it's like what we have been saying, to do like a prototype that could be extended along other territories. Because, for example, we have midwives friends in Chiapas that would be maybe super interested in something like that. Anyways, there would be like maybe other potentiality of maybe even you going build stuff somewhere, or giving the expertise to somebody to replicate it anyway. So there's a bunch of different pathways that could just grow. So we still don't really necessarily understand very good what the Blockstack is. It's like a new blockchain technology, like independent from the internet, that allows the communities that are building something to have like a closed management of their data, instead of, for example, putting their stuff on Facebook and Facebook being able to mine their data and utilize them and exploit it without them receiving anything. It's like a way of keeping data for our own benefit that could be translated into funding, for example, for projects. So eventually would be a good idea. We'll also meet with them in on Zoom. Unfortunately, they are in California, but there will be linkages to be done with that too.
But we could arrange for May, that Saturday to May 8th. We could arrange to have those people on a Zoom where you would be here, and we could meet with all of them and everybody, because these are a couple of loose ends that we're trying to connect to each other, really, and in the middle is this project. So that's something we could have them ready for, on standby.
This is excellent, because just so you know, Rami and your collaborators as well, we have Desiree and Harold, who are 201 liaison for the Longhouse and have been for the last maybe 2 years, and they have done a tremendous work on the STAC community, gathered like university teachers, all kinds of very interesting people So they've done a lot of work, and we are introduced we are told that some of the decision makers are even joining the Zoom platforms with us, with the Longhouse. So it's pretty advanced. And we are building a grant. That's the wording that Harold used. We are building a grant that then, if we can bring a value onto their community, which is all virtual, they give them in return funding. And so, for example, your expertise, of developing longhouses and that community living that is so needed, we can leave traces so people take back their power and then can, go to the stack community and then take this information from. And lastly, I wanted to say also that it is intimately linked with the Bitcoin, So all of that movement, Bitcoin, apparently the stack community is only Bitcoin that is approved by the FDA, not FDA, but anyways, whatever instance approved that in the US. So.
This sounds very interesting and almost beyond my comprehension at the moment. It's very conceptual. Every time somebody's tried to explain blockchain to me, it sounds like string theory. But I'm sure when the right people who can kind of talk about it come together and they can see where things can fuse, then will make more sense. And for now, it just sounds like very exciting stuff. It's like, oh, okay, grants. Oh, okay, collaboration. Okay, sounds great. Sure. So I look forward to that. So hopefully, if they can join us for the 8th, tentative date now, we haven't decided, but for the next meeting, that'd be excellent.
And we can even, Edith, offer to Harold, sorry to interrupt again, just last thing, we can maybe share this meeting onto the Stack community as come to that meeting on the 8th, because they do share everything with the community. There's quite a bit of following there.
As you know, Rami, there's a lot of different things that we're connected to, a lot of different efforts. We got a lot of pokers in the fire. So let's say we're doing one thing over there. That person or group only knows what we're doing with them. But then we're doing something over there with that person or group also. They may not know, they don't know that they are actually working together, that they're actually connected, because we're not working on anything other than what was identified here. So if we're working on that with you, whoever else we're working with, it's on the same exact thing in the same way, but in like a different area, but the same vein. So ultimately, at some point in time in the future, all the areas we're working in, all these people are all going to be networked together, all going to even meet at some point and be able to share all of their expertise in a way that isn't bound or controlled by the things that you are bound and controlled by right now. Imagine when you can build the best thing when you're not limited or bound by economic restraints. So ultimately, this is what is exciting, is there's so many different people on so many different levels that we're working with in all these different areas that are all linked to basically one basic backbone, one spine, and that is the corridor of truth, peace, power, and righteousness from north to south. And this is the thing that is spanning in all the different communities that ultimately, through the current technology, we're reversing the process of the colonization. And this will not only sound crazy, like free my people, but it will free your people also. From, if anybody wants to see or not, the current enslavement of themselves, of society. If they don't want to see it, well, whatever. But this is basically what we're working in all areas, to sink the pirate ship. And that means any area that your expertise is in that area, we're working with you, we're working with them. All of the people are working together without realizing it, because right now, in all the different areas, the people can't trust each other. So it has to be managed basically through this process where we filter through that that distrust and those different barriers and perimeters they're confronted with. When they're not confronted with us, then with those things with us, then it basically becomes like a hub that anybody can come to that hub from anything, knowing that maybe while you're out there, well, you can't touch each other, like your elements have to stay apart. But at the hub, they can touch, they can communicate, they can share. This is everything what we're in a nutshell again what we're working for. And this house, like Edith said, it can be the prototype from north to south, because like our friends who are the two row wampum liaisons in Northern California, they want to start, they're going to start a satellite of the Great Peace Organization and create a longhouse there, a physical on the ground. So this prototype here, or whatever you want to call it, it is the prototype for what will fit in other places, because it will have to be the exact same thing in order for them to be identified as a longhouse. So, it's just like imagine a McDonald's franchise, a McDonald's franchise. So it's got to fit those certain things. So they are going to have this house in their community and in the other communities all the way from north to south. Anyways, okay, I guess that's enough said today. uh,
Yeah, we'll
so,
go.
okay, so we'll look forward to the 8th. We're going to set up, like I said, the Zoom with these other people in the block stack community. They'll be ready on standby, and we can all do the Zoom here and watch it on the big screen here. So we look forward to seeing you. If you actually are able to make it here on that date, we're going to have lunch and everything, and we're going to enjoy them. Maybe we'll even be swimming at that time.
Yeah, there's a lake across.
Yeah. And if not, well, then we look forward to seeing you on Zoom. If that's all, if there's nothing else, Rami, then Edith's going to do the closing.
Thank you very much. And just to say, because it might not be obvious, Longhouse is super welcoming to like families, elders, adults, young adults, kids. It's all good. And if so, Max, if you wanted to bring the kids, it's great. We had kids before there, and if we can swim, it would be excellent. It's a really nice. The core is a very nice place to swim. And I'll probably be bringing Hakim because it's on a Saturday.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna bring my kids too. Sure, it's the time to share the family and like what you said, just many different people for different thinking and together make a better world. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. So are we set to do the closing? Rami?
All good? Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Wagat Sanuni. We actually heard Hakim saying that yesterday. Wagat Sanuni means in the language, we are happy that the life givers and the life protectors could come together for this initial council between MMA, is that right? Yeah. And
MMAI.
MMAI.
MMIE.
MMIE.
En français.
Okay. And the Longhouse for this dream of bringing back the all that we know is right and true to the present, so it assists us with the challenges that we are facing today. So we want to give thanks to the spirit of creation, Sky Woman, for giving us the spirit of the meeting today, this good spirit of sharing and of wanting to work together. We also want to acknowledge that our grandmother Moon is in new phase right now, and that she's helping us renew these connections that maybe have been trying to connect for a long time and that are connecting just now. So we give her thanks for her strength, for her work, and for assisting us at this meeting. And also, of course, our Mother Earth, that she's beautifully blossoming. We have little leaves in the trees that are coming, and we have all of the beauty that is at the springtime. So we give her thanks for this time in the cycle that she's assisting us. We are going to the seeds and medicines very soon. So for all of the little seeds that we're going to put in the ground, that the seeds of the mind, the seeds of the good spirit can also grow with our care, love, watering, etc. We want to give thanks to all of the life givers, to all of our mothers, from the newest born baby girl, she's a mom, to the eldest of the grandmom, and for all of the species of life, the fish's mom, the doggy moms, the birdie moms, because they are the ones that continue giving the life to everything and the life to every beauty that we can see. We acknowledge the role of authority, and we asked our ancestors of the good mind to help us bring back their authority so we can be properly managed once again. We want to acknowledge the waters and the medicines. Thank you for your good medicine, for your good mind, your good work of everything that you are doing, and for your waters. That is a great new fresh water. We want to acknowledge all of the peacemakers, and for these works to be done in that path of peace, and so that peace can be brought more into this world. And we want to acknowledge the balance between the female and the male in everything that we do, so that we can work on those levels in every step that we walk. And very grateful for this meeting. And if there's anything that was forgotten and anything that was not said, we ask you to place it in the right place, and anything that will be an obstacle for the work that we have to do on the good mind, we just push it away in the two levels of the existence. Head us out, head us out, head us out. On your one again.
Enjoy the beautiful day.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Nyama
Thank
go.
Yana Goa.
Thank you so much.
Why not?
We'll see you soon.
Bye. Thank you.